This is me in 1968. My parents named me Sarah and then decided to call me the world's smallest insomniac. I live in a rural part of northern Italy. I share my life with my husband of more than 20 years and our 17-year-old son. I was diagnosed with dyslexia when I was 11 and ADHD 2 years ago. I got fairly good grades at school, but I have all my old school reports and they say the same thing year after year. Careless and untidy work. Appalling spelling, distracted, daydreaming, doesn't pay attention, needs to concentrate more. Fails to live up to her potential, could do much better. It's a strange choice for a dyslexic, but I moved to Bangkok in 1989 and became an English teacher. I would get palpitations if I had to write an unanticipated word on the board, but it turned out I'd accidentally found something I was quite good at. A few years later I moved to Italy, fell in love, then had a baby. I still didn't know I had ADHD. I just knew I couldn't do things the way other people did. I was just a bit rubbish. My coping mechanism was to create a little sergeant major that ran around inside my head screaming at me. He would bark orders at me to get me to do the things I had to do and say horrible insulting things if I didn't do it fast enough or well enough. He called me horrible names: a loser, lazy, a procrastinator, all the things that I worried I was. To give him his due, he helped me get things done. My ADHD didn't impact my life as much as it could have done. But all that negative self-talk came at a rather heavy price. 2 years ago, I ended up having to see a psychiatrist. After several consultations, he diagnosed me with ADHD. He said there was no medication available for adults with the disorder at the time. But the diagnosis opened up a whole world of strategies that I didn't know existed, or even that I needed. After much trial and error and some expense, I now have 2 apps that run my life for me. Building habits isn't easy, so I've made everything into a game. I'm not a mum cleaning her house. I'm a contestant on a reality show, and I'm the only one who knows we're being filmed, so I have an advantage. I get my cleaning done the fastest and the best. I win. I know that sounds kind of strange, but not nearly as strange as what I'm going to tell you next. When I talked about my Sergeant Major, there really was a little Sergeant Major running around inside my head, and I had to fire him. I now have a judge instead, and his job is to be fair. Are my students, friends, family asking too much of me? Or am I using my ADHD as a shield so I can procrastinate my way out of things I don't want to do? I have a policeman. His job is to take care of the bad guys, the invasive thoughts, the negative self-talk. I also have my own personal superhero. On the days where I can't cope, but I have to keep going anyway, she takes over. Yeah, I did say it was kind of strange, but I had fallen apart, and I had to use what I had available to me. I live with the downside of ADHD. I might as well make the most of the upside, the vivid imagination. It seems to have worked. 2 years ago I was on my knees. Tomorrow I have a very important business meeting. It's the first step towards opening my own language school. It's not been easy. Some days it's been really difficult and I've wanted to give up. Say I have ADHD and let that be the reason why I don't even have to try. But making mundane tasks into games and having little people running around my head lets me keep going. First the strategies gave me control over the things I have to do, and now they're letting me take control of the things I want to do. I can't turn back time and get a diagnosis when I was a child and make everything different. And I know even with the strategies, there are sometimes going to be bad days, but I'm going to keep going. I have a family I adore, a job I love, ADHD or not, I'm lucky.